How can I grow social media, in your opinion? What's the strategy to get your social media big?
So I actually work with a social media expert as one of my clients. So I'll steal some of his tips because he's way better at it than me. He says that you should be on all these platforms and repost the same thing because like one of your potential clients or prospects could be on Twitter, but they're not on Instagram. And if you're only invested in putting all your eggs in one basket on Instagram, you may lose out on that. Biggest thing, which like on my personal accounts I do not do, but I tell everyone else to do it, is to interact. So like finding other people in the space that you admire and you follow them, you like them, you comment on their stuff. That's the big thing. You ask thought-provoking questions so they'll see, okay, wow, they're really interested in me.
What do you think about TikTok? And should someone who has a small business, or in our case, a B2B software as a service platform, should we think about using TikTok? And if yes, how?
Honestly, I do not have a TikTok. I consider myself, I'm young, but I consider myself like an old lady that like, I can't even handle it. I attempted to actually, I was like, I should get one for my dog as like a dog influencer. And we still haven't created it.
As a serial entrepreneur, I'm always trying to evolve. Having great conversations with other high performers is one of the best ways to grow. Not only in business, but also in spirit, health, and relationships. This is Svencast. Listen, grow, repeat. How can I grow social media, in your opinion? What's the strategy to get your social media big?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually work with a social media expert as one of my clients. So I'll steal some of his tips because he's way better at it than me. One of the things he says is to have the same handle across all social media. So Digistore24 is the same handle on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. If you're on TikTok or Clubhouse, I don't know. He says that you should be on all these platforms and repost the same thing because like one of your audience, like one of your potential clients or prospects could be on Twitter, but they're not on Instagram. And if you're only invested in putting all your eggs in one basket on Instagram, you may lose out on that. And I actually never really knew that before, but now that like when he says that, because I used to think you had to post, like I briefly did a social media job back in the day when I was doing a side hustle. And I was like it took so long because I was doing different things for all platforms. And sure, there is definitely like, if you're doing Instagram, it has to be more visual. Like one of the things he said, like that social media can look bad is, okay, if you have like text on your Instagram and it's just like text over a photo and it just doesn't look great. Like that is a con. And it's like, so that's where if something doesn't look good, so like if you're doing just a written post, you wouldn't put that on Instagram unless you could pair it with a nice photo or something. But he calls it omnipresence, of being across all media channels, and then having the same name is owning your digital real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. But this is like, okay, this is like the framework for creating content or posts. But the algorithms work like, okay, you have to have meaningful captions. Otherwise, the algorithm will punish you. I mean, okay, a lot of these big superstar influencers, they don't have like long captions, but some do. Those who want to build their social media following, they do. So you have to come up with, let's say, interesting texts, which is in and of itself not super easy. And I really it takes me some time to come up with all those texts. Usually, I just write what I'm thinking at this very moment. This is like my approach, but I'm not saying it's the best approach. I just don't know any better. Honestly, but how can I get more? How can I get more followers? Okay, this is the framework. Has to look good on all, like your brand CI has to look good and let's say equal or the same everywhere. I get it, but how do I get more followers?
That's a great question. I think you have to, similar to PR, you have to think, all right, who is your target audience? Like, who do you want looking at your social media? And then maybe start following those hashtags. And the biggest thing, which like on my personal accounts, I do not do, but I tell everyone else to do it, is to interact. So, like finding
Ah,
other people in the space that you admire, that you want to, or like people that would be prospective clients for you, and you
mm,
follow them, you like them, you like their stuff, you comment on their stuff. That's the big thing. You ask thought-provoking questions, so then they can like they'll see, okay, wow, they're really interested in me, they're invested in me. And that may mean like also maybe tagging them in like some like stories or posts and being like, this great, like the other day so and so was talking about the importance of building a strong email list, and
mm.
I love their tips, like, and here's something else I do building my email list or something. So like you start to interact with them in that way, and that can help to build your following in different groups, for like, Facebook is big on groups, or I know LinkedIn has like professional development groups. Going into those groups and maybe like sharing some thought leadership, or just putting out like, hey, I'd love to connect with some people, feel free to send me a message, would love to hear about what you do. It definitely takes work, I think, to do social media right, and that's why there are whole jobs now around social media.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, if you're leading a company, actually this is very hard to do. Gary Vee likes to talk about scale the unscalable. I
Hmm.
answer every DM. I comment on any comment. I
Yeah.
stalk people around, like he does it personally.
Hmm.
I actually believe him. Like he has an amazing amount of energy, which I don't have, but
Yes.
that's fine.
I know.
maybe
Same.
maybe I should have different coffee.
Yeah, that must be it. It's what he's drinking.
Yeah, totally. And like my favorite question here would be like the last question, like for our viewers and listeners. Um, what do you think about TikTok? And should someone who has a small business, or in our case, a B2B software as a service platform, should we think about using TikTok? And if yes, how?
Yeah,
How should
great
we approach
question.
it?
TikTok is definitely the trend. And honestly, I do not have a TikTok. I'm young, but I consider myself like an old lady that like I can't even handle it. I attempted to actually, I was like, I should get one for my dog, as like a
Yeah.
dog influencer, and we
Oh,
still haven't
nice.
created it. But I do, like, going back to my social media client and like Super Connector Media, I believe we have a TikTok. And my social media client and like expert, and I've heard from many other people, is yes, if you like, it's another audience to reach. You should have TikTok because there are people out there. And the thing is, your post can go viral very fast. Like you can go from
Uh-huh.
being no one, just like my dog can just be my dog sitting
Yeah.
there like every day going on a walk, to becoming like the zoomy queen dog, or so I don't know, where dogs run around really fast. Like, and
Yeah.
then maybe I could end up getting her into affiliate marketing to promote dog harnesses for the outdoors, or like dog treats good for dogs that are very active, that sort of thing. So, I mean, the dog is like a random example, but like Digistore 24, you could use it to create like really fun visual content, that's really, like, I feel like it's really engaging and it's creative. You have to be creative in your TikToks. Um, and like it also, I feel like you can show your personality a little bit more. Like you can show more into the company. Like maybe that's where you're showing the company culture of like,
Mm.
how everyone's remote, but maybe something that your team does remotely when you all connect on Zoom or something like that. So I think you just figure out how to use it, and like to your benefit. Like I know real estate people are like, oh, I don't know, should I be on TikTok? But it's like they can do their own little TikTok MTV Cribs style. And
Totally.
yeah, like, so I think it's like really getting creative in what you're, like what visually and engaging you can do with your brand on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Especially real estate agents, they can actually show some of their stuff. I mean, I sometimes having a software as a service company, I don't really have to show anything. I can just like talk about people and say, hey, you have great success and this is your success, or maybe mention the numbers or something like this. I will have awards soon, so that will be a bit visual. However, like people who have real estate or who are craftsmen who do actually produce stuff with their hands, or you're a car manufacturer or whatever, you can show stuff, and you can do that like in these very short clips on TikTok. I think that's a great idea. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Looking for next time. Learned a lot today. Have a great day.
I had a blast. Thanks, Sven. I am so glad we got to chat.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode of Svencast again.